All right, team, welcome back. I am going to re-record this because the ones that we had on Discord didn't come out too good. As someone mentioned, we kept getting dropped out. So I thought I'd do a quick recap of what we covered in the Discord chat and just put it here on YouTube so we can all go back and rewind it and actually hear me talking. So g'day from Aussie King, here for another weekly session of market structure with Aussie. So what did we cover just previously? Well, we had a look a bit of at a macro level. I guess that's what we do. That's why it's called market structure with Aussie, right? We just go through the macro and we're trying to kind of have a look at what we can expect. So we always start with the dollar. And the dollar index after the election, you can see the big rally up, which is a similar pattern to what happened in 2016 when Trump took office. It's important to notice that the dollar was never going to drop off tremendously from here because Trump is not actually going to get into office and make changes to the legislations, right, until January. So from here to January, I'm expecting some chop, but most importantly, I'm probably looking at the equal highs at 106 and potentially even the 107 to be taken out. So in the short-term macro, from here to Jan, probably a move similar to what I've drawn up here on the chart. So chop, take out the highs, chop, and then eventually in Jan, we start dropping with the dollar. So as the dollar drops, obviously asset go up. So that's what I am leaning towards in terms of a slightly larger macro for the dollar, for the DXY. Now, let's look at the VIX. So for those of you who don't know what the VIX is, we covered this a couple of weeks back. So the VIX is the volatile index for the S&P 500. And it's inversely correlated with crypto, with Bitcoin. So when the VIX is high, like we talked about a couple of weeks back, we were expecting this trend line to be taken out, and sure enough, boom, it got taken out. So when the VIX is high, usually crypto is at a low, but when the VIX is at a low, usually crypto is at a high. And you can see here, it's playing perfectly, right? Like it's how it goes. So now we're at a low again. We're taking out the lows, which means obviously crypto is pumping. Can we potentially go with the VIX and take out this, the 9s and the 10s? Maybe, but I am looking at a potentially a short-term reversal to really kind of come in and fill in these fair value gaps on the daily that are really quite big. So this big gap here will be eventually filled out, just a matter of when. Doesn't have to be now. The market doesn't have to do anything for us, but it will do what it will do. At the time it will do it, but I'm expecting this fills, I guess these gaps to be filled out. So keep an eye on that. With that, obviously we're looking at if the VIX does go up, we're expecting crypto to go down a little bit, however retracement, right? So let's move into Bitcoin, talking about crypto. A couple of people were just asking just in the Discord, where are we at? So starting on a 3 days, which is where I've drawn this Schiff Pitchforks, you can see this kind of, lights, the red, the yellow, and the green. So these channels are basically long-term support and resistance level. They're not straight like you would normally. They just go in a diagonal line, and they're very accurate if you can pick the right, move to measure, right? So it's important to notice we just broke through a very long-term resistance. Obviously, we just made all-time highs, duh. But why is important? It's important because if we manage to flip this and to hold this area now, that means that will become our new Schiff Pitchfork support level, which is really cool. And combine that with some backtesting that I've done. I do this pretty much every few months, but all it is basically going back. I'm on a weekly chart now, so mind the drawings. But basically what I've done, I have measured every Bitcoin halving, pump, and bear market, and I've applied some extension. So each cycle has a different color. So the first cycle, you can see the new base for the next impulse was the 1.618, and sure enough, it became the new base. Now we have the next cycle up here, which is the one in red, or I should say brown, or maroon actually, sorry. And you can say here, yep, the new base of the next impulse became that, and sure enough it did. And then again, the new base for the next cycle became the 1.618, and sure enough it did. And now onto the orange, which is the next cycle, which became the one for this cycle. And look how accurate these extensions are. Did it touch it? Yep, that was the base. Now we're measuring again. So we just measured, of course, that was our last bear market. Where is the next base gonna take us? Well, if we follow every single cycle literally from now, our next base is going to be around 100,000. Now, doesn't mean that that's the top. No, it doesn't mean that's the bottom. Potentially, yes. You can see here in every base, we do use it as a base. Sometimes we got a little bit lower, but then eventually we tend to go much higher. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to really head up here relatively soon in the next few months and just use that as a base. With that, we talked in the Discord, do not, and please do not FOMO into anything in the next coming months. You will hear a lot of crazy talk on the timeline. You will hear everyone screaming, I'm in profit, I'm in profit. Well, guess what? Set your limits now before the crazy part of the run starts, and stick to your limits. Take profits, stick to your guns, stick to your plans. So it's important to keep cool, calm, and collected in the coming months, because when our portfolio starts doing crazy gains, we tend to lose a little bit of coolness and calmness. So use this time before the craziness really does ramp up to set your goals and set your gains and limits, and just stick to your plan. All right. So while we talk Bitcoin, someone in the chat earlier was just asking where do we see Bitcoin potentially in the very short term, not in the macro, but in the shorter term. They asked me specifically on the weekend. I said, look, I definitely would not short Bitcoin right now. It's silly. The trend is up. So I am not personally going to participate in a short. But if you're really, really itching, and if you're really, really wanting to know where I think, look, I think we are going to retrace a little bit from Bitcoin. We are probably going to come and fill out this imbalances down here, this big void empty gap that we can see, and potentially we're gonna hit the 4-hour or even this 1-hour candle, mitigate some orders. There's probably some buying orders there waiting to be filled, so a move to take out this trend line liquidity you can see here, so something like that taken out, and then we continue higher. In terms of signs that I can see, this is just on the 1 hour. So something like this, and now we continue higher. I particularly like some signs that I'm seeing on the 1 hour. Again, I am not participating. None of this is financial advice anyway, so doesn't really matter. We're doing this for educational purpose. But if you look at this candle, actually not that one, this one here, wrong one, this one right here. That's a nice indication for me that that's a potential reversal. It's a 1 hour. This is called a hanging man. I brought it up here if you want to come and have a look. Go on Investopedia and have a look. But this is basically what the hanging man does. It's a sign of reversal. Okay, so a sign of reversal tells you we are ready to change structure. So potentially we are going to see a little bit of a short play now in the next few hours / days, probably until the weekend, to be honest, which will take us until Monday Aussie time. So that's my prediction. Excuse me. I am a little bit sick still, unfortunately. I can't get off this cough. So we talk about fib extensions, what we think Bitcoin is going to form, and so long term and short term. So let's have a look at what we got in terms of open positions. So we had XRP long, which we absolutely nailed in the team, and it's still open, it's still printing. So we got this basically no drawdown really. We just sniped that entry, hit TP1, which was here, and now we actually wicked and smacked over past TP2. If you were able to secure TP2 as well, fantastic. I suggest at least moving your stop loss at break even. I'm not against moving it at TP1, which was here, I believe. So I'll just put it back on the charts. It was here. So 53.61, just so that we can secure some profits really. So if you want to, I guess, take some profits or secure some profits, yeah, feel free to move your stop loss. But otherwise, looking at probably 66 something for TP. So I've got 66.2 depending on your feed, but basically the high, it's my final TP. I've got another TP3 set for 63.40. So XRP printing, nice position, keep it open, up, everything going up. Now let's talk about UNI. We were looking at UNI, and it looks like he was going to do a bit of a bear flag, but really he didn't. No, it reversed with the market, which is great. We didn't enter any position. We were just looking at the structure. So now we'll be going with the flow and potentially looking at this long for UNI. So wait for this mitigation of the daily candle. So take a nice fib, from low to high. You can see smack bang in the 786, 886 area, which is obviously our favorite area to take trades from. We'll be looking for some sort of, again, pullback, which makes sense with what we just talked about. Bitcoin potentially going down on the weekend and reversing. So keep an eye out on the Discord for potentially this call happening. I like that playing out. So let's see. Another coin that we talked about in Discord just earlier was QNT, so Quant. Sorry. We like it because it's an ISO 220 coin, and for those of you who don't know, ISO 220 is basically a kind of a certification for crypto to be used with the Swift bank system, which is obviously the current banking system. Broken, yes, but already integrated with it, which means it's going to be a lot easier for some banking institutions to come in and start adopting these coins. And with XRP now looking like it's going to be a fundamental part of the BRICS agreement, I think India just made their first payment to Saudi Arabia via XRP or something like that. So, or via the XRP ledger, I should say. It's massive. So if XRP or crypto in general, but looks like XRP specifically is going to become a part of a BRICS agreement, well, then we can see and expect all this ISO 220 really doing well in the near future. Obviously, cross-border payments is going to be massive now with the separation of the petrodollar and all that. So yeah, Quant again. This was a nice trade. If you took it, we talked about it. I never took it. I had too much on the go with other trades, but that was a great trade right there. 786, boom, and it reversed. But I think it will go back. So if you want to have a look at another go, I reckon that 57.5 is probably a good area to enter again for a long on Quant. And finally, we talked about stock, RIVN. This was passed on to me by a friend. He's a whiz at stocks and crypto too, but stocks he loves. And yeah, guys, this is and girls, this is a stock that basically, well, I should say a company, right? Because I don't like investing in meme coins, or I treat my crypto like stocks. So I like to invest in companies. But this is specifically a stock. And it's a stock, a company that provides Amazon with all their self-driving, or in general, trucks. And obviously now with Elon Musk coming into administration with Trump, we can only expect legislations coming into play, facilitating self-driving trucks and all these things. So I'm expecting anything automotive in the self-driving department to really have a bit of a push. So, and this thing is now a juicy level for an option play, or even just for a stock buy. I personally have an option play until January 27. So I'm expecting price to come in and fill this gap here at the very least. So yeah, this is just a very quick recap of what we went through in the Discord just earlier. I do apologize, it didn't come out. The audio was not very good, but I thought I just quickly whiz through everything that we covered in a very dense and short format, since I'm not really too well anyway. But at least you guys have got something to go back and review. All right, so much love from Aussie King, and see you all next week.